becoming a glass super agent. You can make a difference.
Hi, I'm Captain Collett, and I'm here in this glass manufacturing plant to explain how you can make a difference by becoming a glass super agent. I help turn recycled glass containers, which have been crushed into cullet, so it can be melted and made into new glass bottles and jars.
And I'm Little Gob, a glowing hot drop of glass. I'm what a bottle or jar looks like just before it's formed and cooled off.
We're taking you on a tour that not many people get to take. You're going to see how a glass container is created from scratch, and why choosing glass containers can help the environment. When we're all done, you'll become a glass super agent, with the power to help save the planet Earth.
Woohoo!
So get ready for your special training and pay close attention. There's a lot of fast-moving machines and really hot stuff, so we'll need to be careful and wear safety gear. Workers here wear safety glasses and earplugs. All right, let's go! Glass is made up of these main ingredients: sand, limestone, and soda ash. These ingredients, also called raw materials, are stored in big silos until they're ready to be mixed together. Another ingredient we use is cullet. In fact, we would like to use much more cullet than is currently available, because we can reduce the amount of main ingredients we use, while also helping to keep the world around us much cleaner.
That's why we should all recycle our glass bottles and jars. The more cullet we can use, the less raw materials our suppliers need to dig up.
As glass super agents, it's important to know that digging up raw materials takes lots of energy. Reducing energy usage almost always helps take care of the environment.
If I want to become a glass super agent, do I need to learn how to use this equipment?
No. Our employees use these computers to create the right mix of ingredients. It's really a scientific process to ensure each bottle and jar is safe and strong. This is where things really start to warm up. Next, the batch of materials is poured into a giant furnace.
How giant is it?
Huge! And it stays full of a 4-foot thick pool of molten hot glass.
How hot is it?
Real hot. It's one of the hottest furnaces around, reaching temperatures as high as 2,800 degrees Fahrenheit. That's 8 times hotter than your oven gets to cook a pizza.
Wowzers! How do they add color to the bottles and jars?
That's a good question. Workers here at the plant will add different minerals to a mix of sand, limestone, and soda ash to make colors like green, blue, or brown. Brownish-colored glass is called amber. Clear glass is called flint. Workers add a neutralizer to the mix so it will be clear enough to see right through the glass container.
Phew, this is a lot of science. What's next?
Let's review some of the terms that super agents need to know.
Raw materials. Sand, limestone, and soda ash are raw materials used to make glass. Cullet. Recycled crushed glass from bottles and jars, which is also used to make glass containers. Furnace. A giant enclosed area that melts together the raw materials and cullet used to form glass. Amber glass. Glass that is brown in color after adding iron oxide, a mineral, to the mix. Flint glass. Bottles and jars that are clear or only slightly colored.
Now the molten glass can be squeezed out into gobs.
Hey, that's me!
That's right. As the glowing hot glass drips down, a shearing system will cut it at just the right moment. It then falls down a chute and right down into the forming machine. Almost instantly, the gob of glass is shaped inside a specially made mold.
What exactly is a mold?
Well, if you've ever made cupcakes at home, you've used a mold. You would mix the ingredients, pour them into the pan, bake them, and they'll be shaped just like the pan.
Now I want a cupcake.
Bottles and jars come in many shapes and sizes because the glass container companies can design molds to look like just about anything. This machine is very fast and can make a bunch of bottles and jars per minute. And there are many machines that operate at the same time to make hundreds and hundreds of bottles and jars per minute.
Wow!
Then, they'll all end up on conveyor belts, where they'll begin their journey across the plant. But before the bottles go too far down the line, they'll get a quick coating, so they'll become lubricious. That's another way of saying slippery. That way, they won't scratch each other when they rub together. During the rest of their trip down the conveyor belts, the bottles and jars will undergo many tests and inspections. It's a lot like when you go to the doctor's office for a checkup, and they make sure you're healthy.
Is it like getting an X-ray?
It's kind of like that. Watch as the containers go through a series of inspections using cameras, lasers, and other high-tech equipment.
Is that thing squeezing the bottles?
Yes, it applies a little pressure to be sure it's strong enough.
Cool.
Let's review some of the terms that super agents need to know.
Gob, a drop of molten hot glass that is cut, then falls into the forming machine. Mold, a form that a gob falls into and takes the shape of a bottle or jar. Lubricious, smooth and slippery. Inspection, to look at the glass containers very closely and carefully to be sure they're safe and strong.
So, after the bottles and jars are inspected, what happens next?
By now, the bottles and jars have cooled down. These containers are made for companies that need them to put food or drinks in. Some companies want them put in boxes before they're shipped out, and some just want them sitting on a pallet.
What's a pallet?
It's a big, flat platform that can be moved around and stacked easily. Watch how bottles are stacked high on a pallet by the palletizer. The bottles or jars that are placed carefully in boxes will be put on pallets as well. These pallets will be moved to a staging area, where trucks pick them up and then deliver them to the companies that need them.
Hey, there's nobody driving that machine.
That's actually an LGV, which stands for Laser Guided Vehicle. It uses lasers and sensors to tell it where to go. You'll see these in glass manufacturing plants that are state-of-the-art. So that's it. That's how a bottle or jar is made. Now that you've learned about the ingredients of glass, how they are melted in a furnace, how they are inspected, and how they are put on pallets to ship out, you're almost finished with your training.
Well, what else do I need to know?
Come on, I'll show you the most important thing about becoming a glass super agent. Here it is. Take a look around.
What? That cow? That guy in a boat? That big old tree? That cloud that looks like a cupcake? Now I really want a cupcake.
It's all of this. The environment. You know, all natural raw materials are used to make glass. It's a good choice for packaging food and drinks. While there are lots of those raw materials to use, we still want to protect the environment as best we can.
So, recycling more glass will help?
Absolutely. We need to tell people that recycling glass can help make the land and sky cleaner. This glass plant is also doing its part by using controls in their building to help the quality of the air coming out. It's really simple. If glass container companies could use more recycled glass to make new glass, they would. Using cullet also helps the furnaces and equipment last a lot longer. But not enough people are recycling their glass bottles and jars, so we still have to use a lot of raw materials.
So why don't some people recycle glass containers?
That's where you come in. And you too. As a glass super agent, you can tell people how big of a difference they can make just by recycling their glass bottles and jars. Imagine how much energy and how many raw materials we would save, and how emissions could be reduced if we all recycled every glass container that we used.
That's right. Glass is a good, safe choice for packaging our food and drinks. But the cool thing is, every bit of glass in a jar or bottle can be made into a new glass container. Every single glass container that you recycle makes a difference. The more you recycle, the more it helps the environment. We have the power to help save the planet Earth.
Well said. You are now officially a glass super agent. And so are you. Now that you know how glass containers are made and how important it is to recycle them, you can encourage others to recycle their glass bottles and jars. Let's celebrate with a cupcake.
Cupcakes! You can make a difference. Recycle glass. Woohoo!